can smell you.
Hello and welcome to Demasked. My name is Fresman, and today I'm joined by MidnightCrisisGirl. How's it going today?
I'm going great. It's going great. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Well, this is a monumental moment in Demasked history. This is the first technically face-to-face interview because we are companions, yes, compatriots, partners.
At least I think so.
I'm just kidding, everybody at home. It's my parole officer.
I'm actually his caregiver, but you know.
So, you've had a little bit of history in cosplay, right?
I wouldn't consider it a little bit, but yeah.
How long have you been doing cosplay for?
Well, my first cosplay started in 2013, but then it became a more reoccurring hobby by 2015.
So what made you want to do cosplay?
That's a good question. You know, I've been asked this before, you know, by friends and by people who've recognized me at conventions, and I'm completely stumped because, you know, one thing I want to say, oh, it's a part of escapism. I don't like myself, which is, you know, I'm at a loss for words. Which is what you know, a handful of cosplayers would say. Mm-hmm. But really, I just love the characters that I see in these fandoms that I cosplay from, and I want to try to embody them as accurate as I can. Or if I can't get the cosplay down accurately, then I'll do whatever I can, I guess.
Well, so when you cosplay, I know we discussed this earlier, but I wanted to get your take on it. So when you personally cosplay, are you doing it only because you want to just recreate the outfits and that's the end of it, or do you want to sort of fully embody the character? Like to boil it down, do you cosplay just in costume, or do you also participate in character when you go to a convention?
I want to take that second line of question to heart. So it's a bit of both. Back in the 2015 to 2017 era, I was a teenager, you know, I was cringy. And so not only that I would make these costumes, I'd say about like 50-60% by hand, I would embody them completely. Like my first convention that I went to, I was fucking feral. Am I allowed to cuss?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I was absolutely fucking feral.
Say, fucking watch it, guys.
It was called MizumiCon 2015. It took place at a Catholic university, I think. And I was cosplaying this character from Terezi, or not from Terezi, cosplaying this character named Terezi from Homestuck. And I was doing the voice, which, you know, the voice sounds like you smoke 5 packs a day for a good 10 years straight. Flirting with every Dave Strider, which is the same character from Homestuck, or same fandom from Homestuck that I would see, and just completely embody the character. But of course, I knew my limits, and I knew not to be a complete, you know, like annoying creepo. But yeah, I'd say like a good half and half.
That's So why specifically, like, from what I've seen, you know, Homestuck cosplay is fairly straightforward in terms of like the gray skin tones and the horns, but it seems like a lot of work goes into the horns.
It really depends on who you ask, because there's different methods of how to make horns. You could make it out of paper mache, you can make it out of Warbler, you can make it out of that expanding foam, or you can use the base as foil, bendable, you know, aluminum wire, and then wrap that around with, you know, like air-dried clay. There is certainly a lot of work that goes into it, and I know a few cosplayers who make their homemade cosplays. They put so much work into it. So much.
Well, just in the horns that I've you know seen that you have, it sort of covers every part of that. Like, I think you had one pair that's more of almost like I you know, hesitate to say like plushy, but it's like a stuffed fabric.
It's a stuffed fabric. Those I don't make. I actually
Are those commissioned?
I commissioned them. They're already pre-made.
Mm-hmm.
It's this person on Etsy. I'm forgetting their name, and I feel so horrible because I could plug them in so easily right now.
We can always put it in the description after.
That is true, but they are amazing, and their prices for their quality of their horns, fucking phenomenal. Like those giant ass horns that are in my closet right now. Those are Chahat Menads, or Maynad, however you want to pronounce it.
The big long ones that curl at the end?
Big long ones that curl at the end. And that's only one size. The next size, which is for $100, goes down to like, I'd say like maybe like your mid to lower waist.
Okay.
They're heavy, they're durable, but they're easy to move in.
Okay, like it seems like at least and I think we've encountered somebody who had a pair of the foam ones, the horns. We dropped them off at a convention, but if I remember, they were made of foam that were like painted, and like one of them like broke for a second there.
Yeah, that was my my other cosplayer friend.
So, just other cosplayer friend.
Yeah, just another cosplayer friend.
Well, so outside of Homestuck, what other fandoms do you like participate in cosplaying as?
Well, it used to be My Hero Academia, or as I called it when it came out, Boku no Hero, because, you know, that's just me. That's what I knew it as.
All Might the Funky
Not
Bunch.
meaning to sound pretentious, but yes, My Hero Academia. I cosplayed Aizawa and Inko Midoriya, which is, you know, Deku's mom.
Mm.
I have 2 horror stories that connect into one about why I no longer cosplay from My Hero Academia.
Well, I mean, if you're comfortable, would you like to share?
Oh, I'm more than comfortable. I'm ready.
Go for it.
So, the first story took, man, what year was it? I think it was the year before the world ended. I think it was like 2019. Yes, it was 2019. The first convention that the shitmageddon happened was called MidnightCon at this dead mall in San Antonio, Texas, that's where I'm from. I'm from, you know, South Central Texas. And MidnightCon, I'm cosplaying as Inko. You know, I got the tight pencil skirt. I got, you know, the cardigan. I'm not dressed provocative in any way. And for some reason, the fandom really likes to cling on to mother figures, as just about any other fandom would, because, you know, mommy. And, you know, just casually putting that in there. And suddenly, I was swarmed by all of these preteens, and I think some of them were, like, out of their preteen age, like, maybe around, like, 15, 16, and they would just, like, harass me, they would stalk me, to the point where I had to grab, a person I used to know, and be like, hey, if you see them, let me know, because I'm going to go running the opposite direction, and that's what I had to do a number of times. And eventually, when they did catch up with me, they were acting in character, completely inappropriate, saying like, "Oh, Deku's mom, Deku and Bakugo are in maid dresses and making out. What do I do?" And this kid was probably like 14, and I felt really awkward and uncomfortable, and so I acted in characters, and I acted in character, and I said, "Oh, you know, my son." And just trailed off with that. And them following me got to the point where I felt the need to leave early, and that's what I did. I left, like, what was it, like, premature 3 hours before the convention even closed.
Jeez.
It sucked. And the second story that ties in was 2019 San Japan, which also took place in San Antonio, at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. And the same exact thing happened. I would say on a smaller... Oh, let me go back. The MidnightCon, shitmageddon, it was about maybe like 15 kids, just like in a swarm, like of bees, just following me around, and it made me really uncomfortable, and I couldn't, I didn't know what to say to them because I'm like, I'm 18 and I don't want to seem rude. And at that time I was kind of like not socially inclined, so I didn't know what to say. I was just kind of like,
Sure.
yeah. So San Japan, which is maybe like a handful of months after this incident, comes around, San Japan 2019, and the same thing happens. But I'd say on a slightly smaller scale, like maybe like 8 to 10 preteens this time.
Mm.
But I remember telling the person I used to know, and I said, if the same thing happens like last time, I'm done. I'm done cosplaying from My Hero Academia, specifically this character. And lo and behold, it happened again, and I stopped. Because it was just ridiculous. They don't know how to act.
So the second time, you're still playing the same character from the first
Yeah.
time? Okay.
Yeah, the same character, Inko.
Okay.
And I get it, kids are excited. They're probably at their first convention, but that's just not cool to treat someone like that and bombard them with, questions and get all touchy and whatnot.
Yeah, sure you may be in character, but there's an upper limit to how you can behave.
Like, I was excited for my first convention at the MizumiCon in 2015, but I wasn't at all like, how would I say it? Touchy-feely or annoying. Of course, I like asked the person, "Hey, can I be in character?" Or like they would know me, like the person would know me, and I would act in character.
Sure.
Yeah. So I always made sure that I was, okay with the other person, but
yeah, it wasn't one-sided.
Yeah, it wasn't one-sided.
Yeah. And then let's see. So we've covered Homestuck, My Hero. And I believe I've seen a little bit of JoJo in yours.
Hey, yeah!
What characters have you cosplayed from JoJo?
I wouldn't call it a cosplay. I'd call it a closet cosplay. Because really, I was just testing the makeup.
A cosplay?
I would call it a closet cosplay. Because really,
What's that?
Bro, he shit himself on the mic.
On the mic.
But I would just really test out the makeup and see how it would look. I somehow obtained Jotaro's hat, and I thought, hey, I have black eyeliner. I can do this thing. And so I've done Mista and Jotaro. Up next is... I kind of want to try... not Weather Report. I kind of want to try Foo Fighters next. Make the full lime helmet.
Let's say do old man Joseph.
I've made a beard before.
Not part 3, part 4, where he's crazy old.
Yeah,
he's all hunched over.
92-year-old man
bleeding in a creek trying to find a baby.
The usual.
Day in day out for Joseph.
Yeah.
Well, so. Have you considered getting back into cosplay after seeming to not do it for a little bit?
Well, my hiatus lasted for it's lasting for maybe a year and I'd say 3 months. But I'm hoping to get back into it soon. I had something nasty happen to me, so I took a mental health check, and I'm hoping to jump back into it. I'm thinking maybe this upcoming weekend, because I did post on my Instagram story, shameless plug, saying that that I'll be cosplaying as Terezi this upcoming weekend, and I really hope I keep my promise this time after my 20 failed attempts.
And so if I remember, I'm learning still. So Terezi's Homestuck, yeah.
Yes.
And are there any other characters you're considering?
I'm considering
Homestuck or otherwise.
I'm considering a lot of characters.
All Might,
huh?
All Might, giant ripped,
completely jacked. No, I actually want to do Twink All Might. Before I stopped.
Oh, the
participating
human one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the twink one. Yeah. Little toothpick man. I did want to do him for a hot second, but no, I'm good. I don't really know, because I've been so out of the loop of everything. I've been kind of just not about that anymore. I mean, I am, but not about that in my current mindset. But the number one cosplay that I do want to get back, or that I do want to complete, whether it be like civilian clothing or like the actual character's cosplay, is Jasper from Steven Universe. I did cosplay her for, you know, a good second in my life, but it was never complete. Like, the hair wasn't completely styled, the clothes really weren't there, and I didn't really make a nose prosthetic. I don't really have to make a prosthetic, but that's what I'd prefer. But yeah, I think I'd complete her, finally. Hopefully, maybe this year.
Are there any characters that you haven't attempted yet that you'd like to give a shot?
Like, attempted as in, like, began making their cosplay but never put it
like,
on?
Or, like, you haven't even made the costume yet, but just a character that you look at and you're like, yeah, I could try.
Like, yeah, I can try, or as in... That's the ultimate one I want to do.
You know what? Let's do the ultimate one you want to do that you haven't even attempted yet.
Skyrim's Daedric armor.
Okay.
That is my number one dream. That is on my bucket list. I want to do the Daedric armor.
I was waiting for, I'm going to be the Jarl of Whiterun.
With the beard and everything.
Ball Griffin.
Baller.
Stop sending me ball.
But yeah, I'd love to do Daedric armor. The problem is I've never really worked with Warbler, and it's a bit pricey at Joann's or even Michael's, and so, you know, if I do it, began, you know, working on it, and then boom, I just completely fuck up the entire process, and now I have to go buy more Warbler.
Just take up blacksmithing. Just bend steel to your will, and then...
Yeah. It's my sheer mind.
I want... So badly, I want a Dragon Priest mask. But I personally, I want to do the Dragon Priest thing and just wear that to a convention.
The mask?
Yeah. I saw a video that let me down so bad. It was a video of, like, how to wood carve a Dragon Priest mask. But it's for...
I need to get him wood carving.
Well, no, it's like, oh, it looks great, but then he only did the front half, but not the back, so you can wear it. It's to hang on the wall. And I'm like, no, I want to wear it. Put it on my face. No. Oh, root beer, no. Oh, root beer. That's... What vocal register is... It's like the very back and bottom of your throat.
Don't guttural and shit.
Like you're trying to force a burp or something.
That is ugly.
Oh, yeah. You like my descriptors?
No.
No.
Nah.
Now, I've been told, I'm kidding, I've seen it, and I have some of it for myself.
I've seen it, and I know it.
I know it. Now, tell me about your hand-drawn artwork. So how would you describe your art style?
That's a very good question. You know, from the age of 6, I have been trying to discover myself and trying to find who I am through art. But no, in a serious tone, I don't know. Because, you know, one hand I can do realism, the other I can do bad shit crazy art or cartoons, and then I can do, you know, Japanese anime style.
And then there's, you know, the chibi.
And then I do the beans.
Yeah.
I do the beans!
The beans! This motherfucker drawn beans!
Drawn beans! But I don't know, I guess, like, in a general way, I would say that it's more cartoon.
Yes, cartoon. Now...
What? She's ripping a fat fucking bong.
Is that Invader same character ripping a bong right
Absolutely, and then Zim's holding up a Girl Scout for their cookies.
I'm pretty sure that's going to have to go in the episode.
Yeah!
Just show up on the screen. Future me in editing, you know what you have to do. You know damn well. Now, hear me out. What is 413? What does that mean?
That is the birth of Homestuck when it first started, 4/13/2009, and that is also the birthday of John Egbert, which is the face of Homestuck.
Okay. The brain behind it, or part of
No,
it.
that's a character.
Oh,
The face of Homestuck.
I thought it was like the.
No, that's Hussey. Andrew Hussey.
What'd you call me?
What did you call me?
but no, I just. That's well. Also, I'm staring. The Future Man ending. We got to put the Morgan Freeman up there.
I can smell you.
I can smell you. I'm creeping around. You just can't see me. For those of you that don't know, that is from a video from years ago.
Why don't you clip that in?
Oh, that might be the intro to this.
I need you to clip that in.
That'll be the intro from the static.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Now, out of the characters you've drawn outside of, say, self-portraits or the people you know, what's your favorite character to draw?
Cancri. His name is Cancri Vantis from Homestuck. I know Homestuck is like, it's everything that I talk about. Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
I always talk about Homestuck, and this entire talk show is like Homestuck this, Homestuck that. But
welcome to the Homestuck episode.
Welcome to the Homosuck. But I gotta put this in perspective. I've been a continuous fan for 9 years. That's almost a decade. Next year it'll make it a decade. Bwomp. So it's kind of been my thing.
I could have sworn Homestuck started earlier, but no, that would be about the time I started to hear about it. Was middle school for me.
Yeah.
Because 2009 was a year after, Dead Space came out.
Mm. Yeah.
Like that's how I keep track of years. And
the measurement of dead space.
Yeah.
Metric imperial dead space.
Pre-Dead Space, post-Dead Space. That's it. That's all we got.
But yeah, back to the question. Cancri's my favorite because I don't relate to him anymore. I don't really relate to him anymore because he's just a mockery of, SJW's back in like Tumblr 2014, 2015. But the Dancestors, which are you know what, we can get into that later. All 12 of them are caricatures of things. And of like not people stereotypes, but like
concepts,
like personality stereotypes.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Tiny people in the funny internet.
There's somebody out there in the great
in the great vast
echoing in the darkness. You know what? That's something I've mentioned it before, but something I haven't set up. I'll have to find it. But what I used to do back when I was doing the show and before we moved into this apartment, I had a skeleton that hung right between my monitors that I could focus on.
Yeah.
And it was a skeleton dressed as a clown. And I'm like, oh, God. And for some reason I had the thought of like, God, I need to put my clown skeleton back up. Crinkly Rice Krispie treat right there. No! Oh. Delicious treat.
Delicious treat.
Now, would you say you enjoy sort of the more realistic part of your artwork or the more cartoonish, like the bean part of it?
That's actually a really good question. I definitely enjoy the more realistic part of art. Problem is, I don't really have that much motivation anymore. I used to. I definitely used to. Mm-hmm. But I just, I start a project, let it be realistic, or, semi-realistic. Whatever realistic is that you would all consider.
Yeah.
I would start it. I would stop after 2 hours, given that. And then I'll never pick it back up again. Never. And then I go into my digital files. The folder is called digitals.
Yeah.
I go into that file, maybe like 2 years later, and I'm like, hey, this is really good. I should pick it up, and then I proceed to not pick it up.
Or yeah, Sarah, the same thing I do is like, I'll come back to it.
I'll come back to it.
Now, so I'm way out of practice when it comes to drawing, but I have a question for you. Because personally, I have a really, really hard time drawing noses and hands. What's a part of a character that you have the most trouble with? Are you like Liefeld? Liefeld, where you can't draw feet?
Hands. I used to be okay with hands after studying mime for, maybe like 2-3 years. But I've kind of fallen out of drawing for the past year. Unfortunately, I'm getting back into it though. And so all of the skills that I've developed have kind of muddied or been muddled by inactiveness. I used to be okay, but now I'm abysmal. I am awful. I am horrible at drawing hands, and I still am. Will almost always be. So I always have to have a reference. Noses, they're alright. It depends on like the angle that I'm drawing at. Another thing that I kind of suck at, boobs. Bobs. Every bobble is different. Every booble is beautiful. But it sucks that I cannot draw boobs for the fucking life of me.
Draw one as an A and the other as a triple D.
Yeah. But I can't draw boobs. Like I either have to have a reference, or I just don't even attempt it, and I stop it as a headshot or whatever.
I just imagine like a full comic book or graphic novel where everybody's depicted from the shoulders up. Like never once you see anything below that.
And also torso and leg proportions.
Yeah, I can get that.
Because sometimes the torso is extremely long or the legs are very short.
See, that's where you gotta double down on just making obscenely long torso.
Yeah.
Snake
I don't
person.
have a yaoi hand problem, thank God.
With the long fingers.
Yeah, the spider fingers.
Yeah.
Them grippers.
The
fucking grippening.
Oh my, the grippening. Oh my God. I've seen some artwork out there, like, the hand is bigger than, like, the person's head.
Yeah.
They're, like, resting their hand on the cheek, and their, like, fingertips are touching the top of their
bad,
skull.
yeah.
Oh. Now, what is... So outside of creating your own characters, OCs and whatnot, what's the character you consider really fun to draw? Is it the Homestuck character you mentioned earlier?
I'm gonna think about this. It's really fun to draw. This sounds a little pretentious, but I think it's myself. Because I never really drew myself that often, and so now that I'm, taking pictures of myself and understanding, oh, that's what I look like, or oh, that's what I look like. I like to draw myself in like different outfits, different poses, and be like, hey, that kind of looks like me. That's kind of cool. Another fun character to draw is definitely Dual Scar. Or Garfield with fat titties. Choose your poison. And Cronus Empora.
What about, oh no, I'm forgetting the name of the character. Necroarch.
Yeah.
Well, if I can't remember, I saw a depiction of it at a family member of yours house, and I can't remember. Did you draw it, or did the family
one that's
member?
going like that?
Well, it's
that one right there?
No, it's Necroarch with like the hand on the hip and like pointing. It's on the dry erase board on the fridge.
I drew that.
You drew that.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to draw that again at some point.
Okay. I'll see if I can remember what I drew.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. Or wasn't it right next to it like a depiction of Garfield like super jacked?
Yes, it was.
Like
it was Garfield
John
jacked, holding John. I eyeballed that from like an actual artist who drew that.
Oh man, did you ever participate in the Nightmare Gonna filthy?
No, but that's an art. That's not called a medium. Like that's the art. That's an art style I actually wanted to take a deep dive on. Like I want to draw like scary horror, St. John, Trevor Henderson worth like art. Because I know I'm completely capable of doing that. It's just that I lack the motivation, and I
So
don't know.
So here's gonna be your project coming up. I'm gonna take a photo of the hallway, and I need you to draw a silhouette of Neko Arc standing at the end of the hallway.
Yeah. But yeah.
I still need to, like, I've done a little bit of research into that character, but I still need to like further connect the dots.
Yeah.
Because sure, it's like, oh, it's actually a representation of this character, but I'm like, but then there's
Representation
lore.
of a giant, big-titted woman.
Yep, from the like a romance novel.
Yeah.
But then it spirals so far.
It's yeah. The Neko lore is crazy.
Millions of years of lore.
Oh yeah.
more than that of was it Warhammer 40k?
Yeah.
Which has like
Warhammer 40k and got nothing on Neko Arc.
Warhammer has 60 books, which is and then Neko Arc has libraries.
Yeah.
It's
Where do you study the Neko Arc library?
I'm majoring in Neko Arc in college.
It's a very hard course.
Yeah.
I'm getting my PhD in Neko Arcism.
I'm getting my doctorate.
Get my doctorate.
Your master's degree.
Poggers.
But with that, we just crested the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, because that's how much he can only stand me for so long.
It's what I can afford.
It's what yeah, my time is very expensive.
I'm paying you in Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah.
Payment received.
Thank you for your transaction.
Your business is appreciated. But with that, I think we'll call this here interview to a close. Midnight Crisis Girl, thank you very much for coming on. This has
whatever.
Been, no, shut up. But thank you very much for coming on. This has been absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely.
And I have a question that I ask every guest, and I'm going to make sure to ask you today. And that is, if asked, would you be open to returning as a return guest?
Absolutely not. This is the worst talk show ever.
You're the one guest I've ever had that's like, no.
No, I hate you and I hate your dumb talk show. Goodbye.
I hate you and the bands you like.
No, but for real, I would thoroughly enjoy that. Maybe like after I post, a couple, handful of...
Start getting it moving again.
Start getting things pushing and moving. Then maybe I can let you back into my life again.
Oh my god.
Let you come crawling back.
Until then, I'm exiled to my room.
Yes. I have his door padlocked. I have a security cat outside of his...
Bolted shut.
Bolted shut.
Only the cat can leave.
Little cat door. You tried fitting through that once, but I had to call the EMS to get you out.
They had to cut me out with the jaws of life.
The jaws of life.
But with that, this has been Demasked. My name is Fresman. I'll see all of you next time.
Bye-bye.